Good afternoon, Mower Medic 1. Today I have a little Honda mower on the bench. It's a commercial unit. It's an HRC216. The complaint is that the front pivots or the height adjusters are just completely wore out and they just got too much play up and down. I'm gonna show you how to replace the height adjusters and the spring arms, and of course we're gonna replace the wheels. This guy uses these lawnmowers like you wouldn't believe. Well, we're going to fix them up, and bear with me and just sit down and enjoy a glass of tea, and we'll get this thing fixed. Well, the first thing you want to do, you want to start by removing the front wheel, and it's held on by a 14 millimeter. And let me just go ahead and get it zipped off here. Tell that bearing on that wheel is completely gone. Thrust washer, don't lose it. Next step is going to be to actually remove the axle or the pivot arm. Of course, my 3/8 ratchet's going to want to act retarded. It's 12 millimeter. Go ahead and zip that nut off right there. If it's rusted, you'll have a bear of a time trying to get this off of this shaft right here. But this guy uses this a lot and it gets moved around, and he adjusts the height all the time, so it should just come right off. Very simple. Next step is to remove the plate that houses the spring arm, the notches, to get your different heights so it will stay. They get wore out in these grooves. They're also 12 millimeter. If you look from the factory, Honda puts just a little old, I want to call it a little dust seal around this. You can scream at me if you want to. I don't replace that little seal because it wears out in the first month of using it. But all you have to do is just be sure you take this thing apart and grease it once in a while, and you'll be good to go forever. But the reason that these fail is because they don't get any care or lubrication whatsoever. You can see how dry that is. We're just going to do this one side because the repair procedure on the other side over there is exactly the same. But bear with me and we'll get the new parts and we'll start installing. Alrighty, we'll get ready to put the new parts on here. Get you a little bit of moly grease. Wheel bearing grease will work. Just to kind of lubricate your shaft there a little bit. And get your new plate ready to go on. Now there are left and rights of these plates. As you can tell, the holes are opposite of each other, so be sure you put the right one on. Just match it up with the old one you take off. Because whenever you order these parts, they're not going to be on the package. It does not say left or right, so you have to watch what you're doing, because you can install them backwards. And you can reuse all your old hardware. Bolt's chirping, that means it's dry, dry, dry. Put just a little bit of grease on that bolt right there. It does make it easier to go in. Go ahead and cinch down your bolts. about if this axle is, because you can move it around. Go ahead and get your pivot arm installed. And like I said a while ago, there are left and rights of these, so you have to be careful. You just match up the ones that you take off. Go ahead and install your new spring arm onto that adjuster arm. Just slide everything together. Doesn't matter just exactly where it needs to go. Tighten up your bolt. It's also a 12mm. And everything will just kind of sandwich together, and that's what I like to see. That is solid as a rock. It goes in the stays where it needs to stay. And don't forget the little thrust washer on the axle. I'm going to put a new wheel on it. And they're proud of these wheels. These wheels are about $29, but it's got dual ball bearings. It's got a spacer in there to keep them from binding up when you tighten it down. I've tried to replace the rubber on the wheels, and it is just not working. You will cuss yourself until you're blue in the face before you get them on there. I've done it twice in my lifetime, and I'll never do it again. Oops, sorry about that, folks. 14mm to tighten up the wheel. Get it tight. There's a little bit of paint. I should have cleaned that paint out of the threads. That ain't going nowhere. Look how good that moves. It'll take 5 minutes for that to stop. If you have any questions about how to, here I'm going to show you the difference. How to replace height adjusters on the front of a Honda Mower, let me know. Mower Medic 1. I'm going to kind of lift this up for you so you can see it. That is solid as a rock right there. Y'all have a good night.